everyone, this is Brobuscus, and welcome back to another Let's Watch of Death Battle. Today's episode is Subzero versus Glacius. This is one that I've been asking for a while. This is one that my friends on Brobuscus have been asking for a while. This is one that a lot of people have been asking for a while, actually. So it's finally time to see how they can handle these two characters and how the animator can handle the animation. Yeah. So you guys should know my thoughts on this by now. I want Subzero to win, and it really could go either way. But I'm kind of expecting Subzero to win, because interdimensional Mortal Kombat and Tester Might exists. I don't know why they think all this, but they do. So let's see how they handle it. Maybe Subzero will lose, which would be sad, but hey. Like I said, I don't really know much about who should win this fight. I've heard some people say Glacius should win. I've heard some people say Subzero should win. I've heard some people not really say that it's a tie. I don't know. No, that's not going to happen. Yeah. So, let's get to it.
The freezing chill of death is a horrifying thought. Whether it comes from being alone in the mountains, submerged in the Antarctic,
or if you're really unlucky, getting iced by one of these cool warriors. Wow, sorry, that was bad, even for me.
Subzero, the cryomancer ninja of Mortal Kombat.
And Glacius, the icy alien with a killer instinct. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. For untold generations, the Lin Kuei assassins waged war with their rival splinter group, the Shirai Ryu. Desperate to claim victory in the bloody conflict, the Lin Kuei resorted to drastic means of recruitment for able-bodied soldiers, no matter what age they were.
So, kidnapping children?
Kidnapping children.
Well, at least they got to be ninjas. I bet their tiny little bodies would be even stealthier.
Turns out, two of these kids just so happen to be descendants from a race of extra-dimensional beings experienced in the art of ice magic. Their names were Bi-Han and Kuai Liang.
With the Lin Kuei's training, these brothers became cold-blooded assassins and the finest warriors in the clan.
And whether it started as a joke or he just thought it was badass, Bi-Han adopted a brand new name, Subzero.
Sounds like an online username from your teenage years that you regret forever when you're older.
Subzero was so fierce and driven, he became directly responsible for the complete annihilation of the rival Shirai Ryu clan.
Except he wasn't.
Fortunately for him, one of them, called Scorpion, survived. Well, kind of. And decided to kill him right back. Which obviously pissed off Kuai Liang, who decided to do the same to Scorpion, and got it. It's like high school drama, but with murder.
Striving to honor his fallen brother, Kuai Liang assumed his brother's mantle as the champion of the Lin Kuei. Subzero was reborn.
Subzero.
This new Subzero is a master of Shotokan karate and Dragon Kung Fu, and enhances his martial arts with his deadly cryomantic abilities.
Subby can freeze the moisture in the air to do tons of stuff. He can make his own personal slip and slide, perfect for surprise attacks. He can form all sorts of weapons out of thin air, like daggers, swords, or even ice hammers. But best of all, the dude can make ice so cold, it instantly freezes anybody who touches it.
This can be achieved through Sub-Zero's Ice Blast projectile, or the Ice Clone technique, both of which completely immobilize his opponent for devastating follow-up attacks.
Did he just make a perfect sculpture of himself? Why doesn't he go into the ice sculpting business? Dude would make a killing. Ooh, just, not the literal kind. He's got that down already.
Subzero can also implement his cryomancy and ninja talents in what appears to be near-instant teleportation, an unexpected ability which baffles even his fellow assassins.
Yeah, but I bet that's still not as unexpected as turning into a friggin' polar bear. Like, how though? I want to do that.
And best of all, after subduing his enemy, Sub-Zero has no qualms about tearing them to bloody shreds with one of his fatalities.
Taking after his dear old bro's favorite form of murder, Sub-Zero can rip a person's head off with their entire spinal column in tow. This one's for you, Bihan. If he's feeling particularly nasty, Sub-Zero will toy with his opponent. He'll encase their lower half in ice and force them to watch helplessly as he tears them in half. Or for a quick death, he'll put them in a deep freeze that shatters like glass.
At most, it takes Sub-Zero approximately 4 seconds to freeze a person in place, which in real-world physics is completely impossible. To induce full-body frostbite in that time, he would have to lower the surrounding temperature to negative 6.5 million degrees Fahrenheit.
That's a stupid amount of cold.
13,000 times colder than absolute zero, to be exact, making it a temperature which literally cannot exist.
And yet still not as cold as my ex-wife's heart. Ha! Anyway, Sub-Zero has more than earned his reputation as one of the most fearsome fighters in the Mortal Kombat
That's
universe.
kind of the point.
He's strong enough to break titanium statues with a single chop, quick enough to dodge an oncoming rocket, and he defeated some of the best warriors across multiple dimensions, like the lizard dude Reptile and Taven the half-god, who single-handedly defeated dozens of Lin Kuei assassins. He's beaten his rival for life, Scorpion, several times, and even took on Batman?
Through sheer
No,
willpower,
they're not
survived
including
injuries
that.
no
That
normal
please tell me
person
that's a
would walk away
joke.
from, like getting torched in the face by a flamethrower, or being double impaled through the torso, and then torched again.
Whoa, that's a lot of blood. Like, how does he have any left?
I know, right? But that pales in comparison to when he underwent the procedures which turned him into a cyborg, and then was blown apart and reassembled into human form while still conscious.
Damn, what a tough son of a bitch.
But don't overestimate him. Although Sub-Zero keeps company with powerful spirits, undead wraiths, and immortal gods, he's not one of them. He may have incredible powers, but he's still just a mortal man. Also, his emotional baggage and desire to live up to his brother's name has clouded his judgment more than once.
But that didn't stop him from becoming Grand Master of the Lin Kuei. He changed their goals, turning them to the side of good, and even formed an alliance with his old rival Scorpion over a nice brunch. Life couldn't get any better. And then they found dragons!
Shirai Ryu, dog. Lin Kuei scum! Death is more honor than you deserve.
Beyond our solar system,
I like how they
advanced
started this off really
civilizations are governed
hardcore.
by the 88 decrees. Should anyone dare violate these laws, they will find themselves targeted by the Galactic Marshals.
AKA Space Cops. One of these alien officers was sent to Earth to investigate an eerie distress signal, but he was shot down by the world-dominating corporation called Ultratech. You know, evil Walmart.
Ultratech had reverse-engineered equipment from an alien crash some decades prior, the Roswell incident. However, the use of advanced technology by less developed species is a clear violation of the 88 decrees.
Kinda like if you saw a chimpanzee pick up a flamethrower.
The pyro.
It'd be awesome, but you'd want to take it away real quick.
Determined to correct these wrongs and return home, the alien marshal set his sights on bringing Ultratech to their knees and recovering his lost technology. And if he couldn't, he'd just blow it all up.
It was Ultratech who codenamed him Glacius. Don't let his name fool you. Glacius wasn't always known for his fancy ice powers. Actually, he comes from a race of aliens with weird telekinetic abilities.
By manipulating simple molecular structures, Glacius can use the environment nearby to create armor around his inner body. This came in handy when his ship was shot down in Antarctica, and he lost his native shell.
So he had no choice but to make a new shell out of ice, which permanently turned him into an abominable snow monster.
With this new body, Glacius developed a
sucks.
fighting style to make the most of his new capabilities.
Glacius prefers to fight at a distance, using his long-range ice-bending attacks. He can turn his limbs into
Ice-bending.
huge ice lances to keep enemies at bay, create spiky hail projectiles, and even summon spires of ice right under his opponent. And did he just punch that guy with an ice sculpture of himself?
More or less. That is the Shatter technique, a powerful burst of energy which summons a mysterious uppercutting ice sculpture.
Perfect for opening up some sweet combos on his foes. Still, for all his keep-away game, you'd think he'd be a total chump up close. But remember how he can move ice with his mind? Well, he can melt it too, including himself.
By turning his body into liquid, he can evade oncoming attacks, surprise opponents from below with the aptly named Puddle Punch, and even completely dissolve people into nothing. And as an added precaution, he can summon extra ice to his body to serve as thicker armor, though his molecular telekinesis is too limited to maintain this armor for long periods of time.
He may be made of ice, but Glacius can still hit hard enough to launch opponents several stories into the air, including the 550-pound Fulgore units Ultratech is known for.
He's cunning enough to not only infiltrate Ultratech's highly guarded facilities, but also surprise attack its highly advanced robotic CEO, Arya. Before making his move, by Arya's own calculations, Glacius was able to drop the temperature of the entire room by 122 degrees Fahrenheit in 0.026 seconds. That's a quarter of a tenth of a second.
Just like Subzero, he can lower a person's temperature by like thousands of degrees to freeze his opponents completely solid. And then he makes them explode with his mind.
Maybe Glacius's real name is Kelvin, because that's colder than absolute zero.
I feel like that was some sort of nerd joke.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, you're not allowed to make a joke ever again.
Oh, why do you gotta be so cold? Anyway, in Glacius' mission to bring down Ultratech, he battled and defeated dozens of killer robots, a zombie pirate, a genetically engineered dinosaur fighter, and a werewolf.
He even killed Cinder, the guy who's made of friggin' fire. You know, opposite ice.
Glacius is ridiculously intimidating, but he does have a weakness. His natural body within the ice is fragile and defenseless. His entire fighting style is built around keeping foes away for this very reason.
So, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Glacius?
That's gross.
What, he looks like a giant popsicle with legs. Come on!
You know what, Boomstick? You're fucking weird. Alright, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
It's time for a death battle!
And pause. Okay, talking about this fight, I had to cut something out. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, Subzero's gonna win. It's like there's a lot they missed out, and there's a lot they kind of overestimated with Subzero. They just kind of, like, don't get me wrong, I do feel that Subzero could potentially win. So even if he does win, then cool, he won. All right. The reasoning might be whatever, but yeah, they brought up the test your might thing. That's literally what kind of sold it for me. Like, they shouldn't have included it, but they did. By the way, I'm literally doing this to kind of sync things up, because there's always some sort of ad between now and when the animation starts. And I had an internet problem midway, like almost all the way through Subzero's analysis. The video just kind of stopped and started buffering, so I had to cut that out too. But yeah, Subzero is going to win this fight, hands down. Well, guess I got another win. Let's see just how it goes. Is that supposed to be like a recolor of Samus' ship?
Your race is new to me. You will know the chill of death. Fight!
liking how it looks so far. Alright, that was a little wonky.
Challenge accepted. You're a formidable warrior, but you lack conviction. Time to die.
Oh no. Oh. Oh!
KO! I know it's the theme and all, but that was just ice cold.
Glacius and Subzero seemed to be a near match in terms of cryomantic
Well,
abilities,
okay then.
but it was Subzero who had the training and the power to bring Glacius down.
Sub-Zero has fought ninjas, robot ninjas, secret agents, movie stars, gods, and even fellow ice warriors. Glacius really didn't have anything Subby hadn't seen before.
And while their speed was fairly similar, Sub-Zero's impressive reflexes and ninja-like skills gave him one of the most important edges in this fight. He could maneuver around Glacius's keep-away strategy, and his teleportation kept him a step ahead, even able to avoid Glacius's liquid form. And while Glacius did possess a minor form of telepathy, there's no evidence to suggest that it was used for anything other than direct communication.
Sub-Zero could take a lot of hits, so he wasn't going down easy. But if you put their defenses side by side, Glacius's ice armor does seem better. But it really didn't matter because Subs could just chop right through it.
Sub-Zero could shatter titanium statues in a single blow, a feat which requires at minimum 63,000 pounds of force per square inch. And titanium is obviously tougher than ice. Assuming Glacius' shell is composed of blue ice, the purest and toughest form ice can take, it would still only take at most 57,000 pounds of force per square inch to crack his entire body in half.
And he didn't even need to go that far, just get to the squishy insides in the middle. I guess you could say that Glacius had his expectations shattered.
The winner is Sub-Zero. Hey, I'm Ben, I play Wiz, and I'm about to show you the matchup for the next death battle. And after that, please click that button over there to try the first membership and see the next episode before anybody else. Thanks for watching.
Go. That was not what I was. Okay, alright, okay. Just relax. That episode was pretty cool. I need to be careful with what I say. Alright, it was alright. That's pretty much how I would sum up all of the 2D fights this season so far. They're okay. Like, I liked it. It was enjoyable to watch. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. I don't think it was bad. I hear a lot of people complaining about this to no end. But yeah, I don't know. Like, what can I say without making a stupid ice pun? Yeah, it was alright. Like, the animation was okay. The results Here's the thing. I can agree with the results. I really can. I really can agree that Subzero. I really can agree with Subzero beating Glacius. I can agree. Where I can't agree is why he won. Because it's basically like I kept saying since this fight was announced. The interdimensional Mortal Kombat and Test Your Might. They're I love seeing my preferred characters win, okay? I do. And I can agree with this one. That being said, no. Mortal Kombat is not interdimensional. It's ugh. All of those people that Sub-Zero has fought, he's either lost to them or he's most of the ones he's beaten have lost to every single person they've ever fought. And the ones he's lost to, and he's got quite a few losses against those same people. Like, he beat Scorpion. Scorpion beat him a few times as well. He beat, who else did they bring up? Reptile. Reptile's lost to every single character he's ever gone up against. He has not beaten anyone.
Can you bring the garbage recycling can back in, please?
That was my dad and Dylan. Okay, next time, just why? Just why? Oh, this is one of the worst matchups ever. This is... Okay, let's put this into perspective, okay? I hated the fact that Scrooge vs. Shovel Knight exists. I still do. Mostly because, like, Shovel Knight, despite only having one game, he fits perfectly for a death battle. There's quite a few feats there. He has a lot of weapons and stuff. He fits. Scrooge does not. Scrooge has feats, and he has adventures, and he has equipment, but he doesn't get into combat much at all. Well, I mean, at the very least, he has thrown a punch. Android 18 and Captain Marvel do not... both of them don't fit. That's the thing. And good grief, I like 18, but good grief, she dies so horribly against Captain Marvel. Like, holy crap. Yeah, okay. This is stupid. It's just stupid. Like, we've got Android 18, whose best feat is beating the crap out of Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta during the Cell Saga, which didn't even have planet level crap yet. And we got Captain Marvel, who is on par with Thor to this very day. Thor's like solar system level, or something like that. Captain Marvel's ridiculous. 18, she's ridiculous, but Not that ridiculous. What's gonna suck is that when 18 loses, there's gonna be a bunch of DBZ rage again. And we all know how much we love those. Can I just say this? I agree with every single DBZ fight they've done. Every single one. No exception. I was a little iffy on Vegeta vs. Shadow, but the boost that Vegeta got in DB Super just murder Shadow. Sorry, I had something on my arm. 18's gonna die. 18 is... she's screwed. Captain Marvel's way too much for her. That's why this matchup is... that's most of the reason why this matchup is really dumb to have. Because, not just because they have, like, nothing in common, and because it's a huge curb stomp or whatever. Basically, the problem with a lot of fights that people didn't want. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Nobody wanted this. Nobody wanted this fight. What they wanted for this fight was for it to never, ever exist. That's why this is so dumb to have. Because 18 and Captain Marvel do not fit for a death battle. They have feats, they're cool characters, and they have gone on adventures, and they have equipment, but they just don't fit. Like I said, this is pretty much like Scrooge versus Shovel Knight, but Shovel Knight fits. Shovel Knight fits, Scrooge doesn't, but Shovel Knight does. That's why this matchup is really dumb to have, because not only do these two characters not really necessarily fit for a death battle, but they're also going up against each other where the connections are loose as crap. It's a huge stomp in Captain Marvel's favor. So yeah, like, no, this isn't a good matchup. Later on down the line, we need to have more of what we got here in terms of matchups, like in terms of with what we've got here, or with what we've got with like Megazord versus Voltron. We need more of that, more of the matchups that people actually want to see, and more of the matchups that are actually like there are decent connections, and it is a relatively fair fight. Megazord versus Voltron is not a fair fight, but that's besides the point. We don't need this. This isn't what I'm... This is not an example of what I just said. This is the exact opposite of that. This is literally taking what I consider the opposite of a good match and making it official. So forget what I said about Scrooge versus Shovel Knight. This is easily the biggest why. It's dumb. I don't like this matchup. I liked the episode. I do not like the next time. Basically what I'm trying to say here. Yeah, that's what all I've got to say. Oh, I was hoping for Blake versus Mikasa. Oh, why couldn't it have been that? It's like it's not a perfect matchup, but it's better than this. Alright, Salt's gone. Care is gone. I'll see you guys next time.